Hello, everyone. Welcome to my session. My name is Fernando Angulo from the SEMrush team. And today I will be sharing a lot of knowledge, data, and of course, expertise cases about advanced SEO. For doing so, let me share my screen and let's start with it. As you have noticed, we are talking about advanced SEO. Yesterday we have the beginners and also an advanced part. Today we're going to be retaking the same concept with a lot of information about what is our situation today. When we are doing SEO, search engine optimization, is vital to identify what is happening around our market, what is happening in our industry, so we can be sure that all the changes that we want to implement to our website are going to be aligned with the global situation, with the local situation in our niches. So what are the changes that we have seen on the search engine results page, the SERPs, during the last decade? And as you may notice, in 2010, when we took this first screenshot, we saw that, okay, there are many results. The potential of Google at that time was incredible, but it was kind of not very clean, right? We see local results, we see the ads, we see everything mixed in a left ugly menu, the left side. Last year, we saw really good changes with the search results page. And here, as you can see, we have less ads. We don't have anymore the left side of the page with ads. We see more search features. And of course, during this year, the pages are even more clean. Actually, we are not seeing anymore the first rank of the results. We are seeing for most of the search results, because we still have the first position, but for most of the results that are coming with questions, if you type any questions on the search engine, you will receive this type of results. Feature snippet, people also ask, or another search feature. It can be images, videos, and so on. So the question is, okay, so many things are changing these days. It is good to do something for SEO, or should I focus more on acquiring search features or feature snippet? Because let me check here this result. I'm using a 32-inch monitor, and basically all these results are the complete screen of my computer, right? So where is the first result? It's not here. Why is that? And let's see another interesting fact that is happening these days, even more than before, that Google is implementing since the last 3 years a new technology and artificial intelligence that is understanding better the context behind our search, connecting several pieces of the puzzle to understand what do we want. So trying to predict what we want from different sources, and because they have a lot of information about us. So if I do, for example, this search query, movie about brunette that went to USLA, right? The search engine is telling me, okay, I know what you're looking, legally blonde, and I have that feature snippet there. And only because of the context of my search query, because it's nothing related to the result at the first glance, but it is movie about a brunette. The actress actually brunette, and she was studying in UCLA. And the actress is already there. The name of the film is already there, and as you can see here, is a result from Wikipedia. So this is how BERT was working 3 years ago. In a 20% of their power. Right now, BERT is enabled in 100%. So anything that we're talking with the context, thanks to BERT, Google is understanding even better, and it's learning really fast. So what else is changing? Their search results, because of the situation that we're living these days, is changing a lot. We have a completely new section since March from this year about COVID, what is happening. This is the first time that we saw that Google is using red labels, red menus to get more the attention of the people for travelers, for businesses, for hospitals, for pharmaceuticals. So if you are in this industry, you should be noticing that this is an information really highlighted that we never seen before. Also, there is a completely new section for everything related to COVID on Google for each country, for each city. We have statistics, we have the news, we have the government information that is attached to each of it. So it's a really big piece of information that Google is giving us in every single country on the planet. So well done for Google. For us, this is only a new section. If you are not in the health industry or you are not a hospital or a clinic, so maybe this is not so relevant for you. But if you're a traveler and you are working with travelers, this is something that you need to pay attention. Another thing really interesting here is that we saw a few changes in the Google local search. We see that in the snippet of the restaurant, it's more visual, the delivery options. If you can have the takeout, if you have delivery, if you have the non-contact service, all that is highlighted and is more visual. So small changes for the situation that we're living. In the maps, if you are using any Google map, any Google device, desktop or mobile, we saw also that the changes when you are trying to order something, when you're trying to find a restaurant, it's going to be telling you if they have a takeout or delivery, showing you what you have around you. So more small changes. And of course, these changes are not something really new. As you can see here, this is a tool that we developed a few years ago that is called Sensor. It's measuring the actual changes on the Google algorithm by day. And you can see that every single month, Google is changing a lot of stuff. Some of those changes are really big. They're affecting all of us. And some of those changes are really small. For most of the industries are just really small. They're not affected. But as you can see, they are doing several changes in a month. How it looks like. So you have here the categories of each industry. It can be arts, beauty, books, business, hospitality, real estate, whatever. And as you can see, we have a scoring which goes from 1 to 10, meaning, for example, 9.4. That is a huge, massive changes on the search results on Google algorithm for all the industries. Here you can check, because it's a common situation that Google is changing basically everything for the news industry, the sports industry, the gaming industry. For the rest of the industry, it's not changing much things, but there are certain points in a month that Google is changing everything. And specifically what is changing, the amount of the results, the search features, the mobile versus desktop results, all those changes are also here, and you can check all of those. So all this information that we are analyzing at the beginning is, of course, in a local base or in a global base. If you are a local or a global company, you need to have the knowledge about what is happening around you, because some beautiful day you can awake, take a cup of coffee and say, oh my God, I lost all my keywords. The ranks are not there anymore. Why is that? You can open just Sensor and check what is happening with the algorithm overall. What exactly has changed? Google is showing more images, more carousels, more ads. Something is changing out there. You need to notice that. That's part of business intelligence. And of course, the digital environment as well is changing, right? Here I have two pictures, the pictures that we have from March till May, and the second picture is from June till October, so till the beginning of till the end of the last month. And here we saw that there are some winners of the situation. So the industries that were receiving most of the traffic from this pandemic quarantine situation that the whole world was living. And we saw that in the first place, are the remote working platforms, then home fitness, and then we see streaming platforms and food delivery companies that are the major winners here. For remote working, they double up the amount of traffic from 6 million at the beginning of the year till almost 9 million. So almost 50% of the traffic they reach. For home fitness, all this industry overall, they also went up in in just 2 months. They are still up there. Then food delivery companies, these are the ones who reach the maximum during those months since February till March. Imagine more than 300% increase in growth for Amazon Food. Then you can see there are several companies all over the world. Then you can see here the industries that suffer the most. So the ones who were not receiving the amount of traffic that they were used to. First, we have the airline industry, then the events industry, hospitality industry, and how I want to present you how airlines and events industry reacted. All this as well. This is competitive intelligence. This is business intelligence, and we are doing a market research, right? What is happening with the events industry? So basically, we saw different events during the timeline, and you can see a peak for each of them. So we have the Olympics, we have the Euro Cup, we have the Coachella Music Festival. So all major big events with 100,000 of people that we're expecting those. We have the peak of the attention of the traffic, then we see the down. So the peak is the day when they announce that sorry, there are not going to be any Olympic Games this year. Sorry, there are not going to be any Formula One games runs this year. Sorry, there's not going to be the Euro Cup this year. And people were just leaving those expectations, and the traffic went down. This is a really sad situation for the offline events industry. For the hospitality industry is something similar. Since January, since the beginning of the year, when the first cases were appearing in China, we saw that the amount of searches for global players here and for the whole industry overall was going down really fast. And for the only at the end of this year, in the last 2 months, in August and in September, we saw a small spike with some hope that that's going to be a trend and that is going to be increasing again. But since the situation is changing a lot, the situation is not good at all. How these companies were reacting to the situation with COVID from the beginning. The airlines that were reacting the best in a positive way to the comments, because they were receiving several comments on Twitter, and this is a sentiment analysis made by SEMrush on these 10 companies. So you can see here 44% the comments for Turkey, for Qatar Airways were really good, 24% were really bad. The ones in the center are the neutral. So overall, the positive reactions were really good. The reactions from these companies were also amazing. From events, just for an instance, you can check here how many times these events, the social media managers were using the crying emoji and just expressing their sadness, saying that, sorry, this year is not going to happen. We need to cancel this event. We need to cancel. About 8,000 times the Coachella event was writing something with the crying emoji. This is the first time we saw something like that. Emojis are kind of a really good way to connect with people in an unofficial, in a very not official way. So it's more personal. So the events were reacting really well in this place. And we have another part of the research here, trying to understand, because we are in a very specific situation that never happened in the modern era. So we wanted to understand what is happening these days with the e-commerce business, what is happening with the top 2,000 world most visited e-commerce businesses from different categories, from fashion, consumer electronics, health, beauty, to find out what is happening with their strategies. And as you can see here, for the search, for the keyword buy online searches, buy online, the amount of people that were using that in February was even tripled. You can see the big spike only for this keyword, buy online, and wherever the product is, wherever the survey is, people were trying to find that on the internet, which was doubling the numbers from previous years as well. For the overall traffic in the e-commerce environment, you can see that the trend is going just up every single month since January this year. The biggest spikes we saw are coming in July, then in October, and then we believe the next year is going to be even better. The amount of budget that e-commerce businesses are right now separating for marketing is increasing all over the world. Why is that? Because once a person bought something from an e-commerce, the chances that they're going to be returning for more online are increasing really fast. So this is something that we don't see that it's going to be changing in the next years to come. This is a trend that is going to be continuing going up. So if you're in the commerce business, this is something really good. And not only for the e-commerce industry overall, but for all. The experience buying online is already there. It's already double up the numbers in our whole planet. And this is something, this is the situation that we are all living. What are the fastest growing e-commerce categories by traffic? So as you can see here, we have home garden, food and groceries, and sports, which is basically the things that we were doing during these pandemics, with the thing that we can, because most of the things, traveling was not allowed at some point, and other stuff like gathering with other people. These were the things that most of the people were trying to do to activate themselves. And of course, the sources for all e-commerce businesses during the first half of the year till September, you can see here that the most popular source of traffic is direct. So yes, brand awareness, brand search, paid brand search keywords, they are really good for showing up more results on the direct traffic. Then we have search. Then by far we have search, I can say. Then referral, then social, and then paid. So by far, direct traffic is the most important one for any business. Then we have SEO as the second channel of user acquisition. What is the situation between branded and non-branded traffic? So you can see branded is for most of the businesses. The second most important one, the most important is still non-branded, is the yellow bars there. But for some businesses, like for example, fashion, or you can see for home gardening, the difference are from 50%. Then you have 96% versus 4%. And that means that, okay, people, they know the magazines, people, they know the retailers, people, they trust their retailers. So trust factor is something really important these days. Why is that? So let me give you a hint here. These are the most popular CTIs, call to actions, that different industries were using the most. So we have the top three for each industry. For gifts and delivery, right? The three top CTIs are day delivery, so they need it fast, local florist, they needed something really nearby, and the farm fresh, that they are really organic, right? For, let's see, for example, for the industry, yes, consumer electronics, we have trusted since. So they want to have all the information about when these guys started working. So I want to know more about them. The tech support, what is the communication between you and the company and the service. Authorized dealers that can also offer a service as the main company. So Just taking a look into the most used CTAs, you can see how the mind of the users are changing. They want to have everything for their personal context. And our personal context as users is that we want to have anything we want, anytime we want, and for my personal use, saving me the time and solving my problems. So basically, you are in Australia, you want to try Chinese food, you just can call at 3 a.m. to your service and voila, you have the food. You are in the middle of Mexico, you want to try Korean food. You can just pick up your phone and ask for that. Or you are, for example, in Northern Ireland, you want to try the new iPhone. You can just book it and you can have it the next day. So everything is really fast in our context, but people are looking more for trust, are looking more for high quality, and they are learning more about who this business is and how they are working. What we can do? So this is the part, once we know already all the information around us, that people, they really want to buy from someone that is trustful, that they want to have a really fast connection with them, that they want to be talking only about themselves, their problems, solving their problems. What we can do? So I am here to present you a new strategy that you can use it as a workflow that is called DIRT. DIRT is delivery, infrastructure, relevance, and trust. So this is an ecosystem of functionalities that you can implement in your website that is going to bring you the maximum of the possibility of your website. And of course, you need to identify and fix the technical SEO mistakes and ensure that you are constantly running a site audit for your website. But let's go point by point. What are the technical SEO mistakes that you need to fix at the beginning, or if you never did an SEO a site audit to your website? These are the main points that companies are avoiding. First thing that we were seeing, most of the web pages out there, they are not controlling the old technology. So if you had a web page that is online for the last 10 years, in some cases for the last 15 years, so the technology overall has changed. Please don't use any more Flash technology, Flash content, old frames, doc type, not declared. This is something that can affect you a lot. Just switch to another technology. If your pages are not fast enough, you can check this with Google Free Products. You can check this during a site audit. Check that your pages are really fast. So in both cases, you can see here, there are some of the web pages that are not doing this. Then the next problem that you need to fix are the internal links, the broken internal links. So this is the situation when you have several content that is not connected to anything on your website and is living their life but their own way. So they're not connecting to anything, and nobody can find it, right? Then you can see that this problem is affecting a lot of services, a lot of websites, but this is not the only one. We have also temporary redirects. We have broken external links as well, and we have a few problems with too many on-page links, too many links on one single URL, which is actually a really bad idea. What about the problems with the content? So the main problem with content is, of course, duplicated content. Only creating content because of the sake of the content is not a good idea in any way. But there are some cases when you don't have other choice. Maybe you have two very similar products and the description is also very similar, and you have a third product that is in another category, but it's the same product, right? So you have three duplicates there. Well, there's a very easy way to fix that, to make Google understand that these are the same product as this first one. You only need to use the rel canonical tag inside of those pages in the HTML code to make Google understand, hey, These other pages are a copy from this original. So take into account the original, because that's the same content which that I'm using with the rest. Then the next problem is that you have a lot of HTML code and you have just a few texts, right? Low text to HTML ratio, which is happening when you have a lot of images, frames, formularies. You have beautiful changes in the page, but just a couple of words, right? That is not the situation that is happening with galleries, right? Yesterday I had a question in regards of galleries. What happens if I have a gallery of product? So from the user perspective, if you are showing your products and your galleries are actually accomplishing that purpose, that's perfectly good. But you can also utilize all the benefits from Google Images, just optimizing your images to be shown on the search results from images, right? Then your text has just too few words, low word count on page. So what are overall the main mistakes? I have only told you 3 of them, but let me give you the big list, right? And the percentage of the websites out there that are committing these mistakes. So this is the big list. Basically 50% of all websites, they have duplicated content, then missing out attributes for the images. If you don't have the out attributes, so you cannot rank for the image, please use them. Duplicated tags and so on. So we have a big list here that you can just check it, go one by one and every single page that you have. And if you are good with all these points, you are winning a lot already in an SEO perspective. Okay, that's the part of technical SEO that you need to solve. But only solving problems, that's not going to be fixing the way that users are perceiving your services and products through your web page. You need to practice a DIRT SEO strategy, which is basically distribution, infrastructure, you can have the trust there and everything related to the content, the relevancy of the content. So this is the big DIRT SEO. So you have your technical SEO team or your agency, and you are working for different, very important aspects of your website. The first one is delivery. Is the servers that you are working, is the company that you are putting your whole website there. You are checking the server speed, you are checking the page size, you are checking the code, you are cleaning the code. Then you go to the infrastructure, right? Everything for the bots at the left side of my screen, and everything for the people are the right side of the screen. So we are working for the bots, for the robots, and for the people. So we have for the robots, delivery, servers, speed, and so on, infrastructure, crawlability markups, HTTPS protocols. For people, we have the relevance of the site, the content, multimedia, the links, and of course, the trust factors. Here are really important: the credentials, business intelligence information, and of course, the user experience. Okay, so this is the way that you need to work with your web page to have more results in a very organized way. So let's start thinking that if at some point you can work these four different strategies, you can go faster, right? This is not something that you can just fix in one single day. This is something that you need to establish as a process, because when you are publishing something new, something else can be changing on the search results. New technology can be appearing. So SEO is not something that you can do. Hey, let's go and do SEO for 1 month, and the next 2 months, let's wait the results. It's not working like that. It's more like you have an SEO team, you have an SEO person, you have as a part of your content marketing, an SEO that is constantly working, that is constantly doing some work as a team for making your website faster all the time. Starting from the delivery, right? Here in the delivery, we're checking 3 main aspects: speed and performance, security, and mobile. Why mobile? Because in a couple of months more, Google is changing all their results to the mobile first algorithm. So everything is going to be measured by mobile. If you are not there, so sorry, you're not going to be indexed. If you only have a desktop version, sorry, you're not going to be indexed. That's the cruel reality, but that's something that we were as search marketers expecting the last 5 years. Okay, so here we can see that in the speed and performance part, we need to have a clean code. You don't need to have several lines of code, they organized. I know that could happen with JavaScript sometimes when you have nothing minified. You need to minify those files to make your website faster. Of course, all the other services that you are using, if you can have a tag manager using the Google Tag Manager, that will be awesome as well. And of course, checking that all codes are valid for each page, and the server speed is reacting really fast, and the page size is always the minimum. Then with the security, if you don't have an HTTPS site, these days it's easy to identify them. Just take a look at the browser. If you have the green lock there, that means that you are an HTTPS website, and Google is not going to be sending those messages to users saying that this is not a secure website. Please go out fast, right? So use HTTPS, have all the certificates in the right place, the SSL certificates, anti-hacking measures, and of course all the things that you have there for making your website faster and secure. Please implement it. Then the user experience, I was already commenting about this. So speed and performance is not about how fast you can be. It's about you need to be the faster on your industry, the faster on your niche. So what are the measuring for this is milliseconds. Just for an instance, 53% of visits are abandoned if a mobile site takes longer than 3 seconds to load. So 3 seconds is a whole world of losing users. If your website is taking so much time to upload in a mobile device, so you can say, okay, this user is not going to be returning any soon, or maybe never. And you can see here we have some results of a client that we have in SEMrush that we were just implemented the mobile speed, making their images smaller. They were adjusting the time on their service as well, doing a log analysis for their crawl budget. And you can see here that in just one single month, they grow from having 3,000 visits per month to having more than 50,000 visits per month. So speed is something that can be a really, really good injector for traffic for your website. Then you can see that if you are also working with links, once you have your website published, you have some content that is relevant. And by relevant, mean that you are implementing the suggestion, the EAT suggestions from Google. So your content has expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So you as an author, or the people working in the website are the ones who are working with the projects, with the products. You are showing that you are an expert. You are showing that people can trust you, and you are of course mentioning other trusted projects as sources for inspiration and for knowledge. The speed, you can check that on basically any service out there. Most of them are pretty good. We really like the Google products for doing this. The average speed that you have on mobile needs to be as good as the one you have on desktop. So go more for the average speed, not for the average speed, for the mobile devices with a good speed, with 100% scoring here. Then you can check the way that your web page is loading. If it's synchronous or it's a synchronous way, just the whole web in a single time, or just some parts while you are surfing the web page. Let's go to the infrastructure part. So still we are continuing working with robots, right? We are still working for the system. We're still working for Google or for other search engines. Here, the crawlability is really important. I just saw, well, actually, that was yesterday, a tweet from one of my colleagues in the UK mentioning that he recently received a big project from really well-known company that they are really well-known. They launched another website for a country. In this case, the country was Latin American country, was Brazil, and they launched the website 2 years ago. But there was implemented a piece of text, a piece of code there that was saying no index. So having that no index for 2 years and expecting some people to come to your website is absolutely useless. No index means that your site is not indexed by anyone. So you are not allowing Google or any other search engine to index your website. And we found that that's the case of several websites out there. If you are working closely with your website webmaster of your SEO agency, you need to check at least that your website is indexed. You need to have, if you have a sitemap. So sitemap is the place when you can put all the structure of the website, making relevant specific parts of your website. The robot.txt is where all these rules are specified, where the robots can go and track everything that you have. If you don't have the index, if you have the no index, you're not indexed. If you don't have a sitemap, the robots are not going to be finding you your relevant content. If you don't have the robot.txt, you don't have any rules for bots to go inside of your website. So basically, it's wasting your precious time. Log file analysis, the crawl budget, all those errors, the redirects are going to be also really bad if you don't have the 3 first points fixed in a really good shape. So it's very easy to have the website indexed. It's only an index, or you don't need to have the no index anywhere. Then the sitemaps, also very easy to create one. If you have a website, there are tools free, most of them. The robot.txt is just a file, it's a doc file, so no problems with that. Then we have the other section. When we are changing, when we are sure that most of the technical part of our site is good, then we are starting a little bit with the content. So we have the schema tags. We are working with markups. If we are working with markups, we need to know very well which markups we are working with. The open graph tags, I'm going to be showing you. And the last part, the migration from HTTP to HTTPS. Then we can implement a redesign or change from one CMS to another, moving from platforms. So the crawlability, how many times Googlebot enter into your website with a log analysis, you can do that very easily. I really love log analysis from Screaming Frog, or you can do it from Sidebot, or you can do it with SEMrush as well. We have the tools to understand how often your website is visited by the Googlebot. If you are doing this, even more, if you have a really popular page, you need to do that even more faster and saying to Google, please visit this web page, this URL more than others, because the information here is really fresh and it needed to be indexed fast. The markups. So here I have a snippet with different markups, which makes the snippet more beautiful and more effective for users to understand. Okay, these are the stars, these are the boats, this is the name of the director, of the actor. So I have all the information from the snippet, and all those markups, the director, the best ranking, the boats, are taken from a schema. We have several hundred of schema markups for any business, any case. You don't need to implement all of them, but if you are using some schema markups, of course, you need to have a developer working on those. Your website are going to be going to the next level in terms of indexation. Then you have the mobile version of those markups, which are even better. Users love to have those schema buttons there, all the information more structured. That means that you are a professional, that you are working and you are involved in the process of evolving your website. The relevance is basically all about the content, all about the structure of the organization that we can have. And this is the main idea. All the content that we have in our own page is structured. We don't have any solitary URLs. We don't have any silos. Everything is interlinked, and people can go from the homepage to the last page that you want to show them just by doing 2 clicks, which is the best idea that we can have. So if you're searching for something, you have those feature snippets, and you can have also another type of result, which are the knowledge graph that you can implement as well. And just for an instance, you can populate, or I really love this term, real estating the first page of results with the feature snippet, with the people also as with images. So for any for any type of keyword, Word, for the most popular ones, of course, work with several pieces of content to have the feature snippet, images, videos, carousels, and of course, if you have podcasts, it's even better. Using tools, you can have even the sources for the links. You don't need to think about, oh my God, where I can find links. You can have that from tools as well. We really love to use SEMrush as well, of course, but also Majestic Moz are really great sources as well. And if you want to write the content, you need to have the knowledge about what the industry is expecting, the amount of words that you need to write, and of course, how difficult that content needs to be. If you're, if you're a hospital, or if you're a technological university, you cannot write the same word in the same tone of voice as you are working with a travel blog, for example. You need to use different the terminology, and that's the way that Google and BERT is understanding the overall context. You can use tools like, for example, SEO Writing Assistant to have all those metrics, those scoring immediately in your Google Docs or in your WordPress. Doing that, you can also, without paying for any tool, use your Google Search Console data and fix that, check that, what are the keywords that people are using to find your content immediately from your Search Console, and optimize that for better CTR, for click-through rate. So the better rankings you have, the better possibility for people to control to take the information from you they're gonna have. Trust factors. Yes, this is the final part. Trust factors. Here we have all the credentials, the contact details, testimonial reviews, the privacy terms, GDPR terms, the authority status of your authors, and the social signals are a must-have during this time. I already proved that with the first part of my conversation here. Then business intelligence, the conversion rate, the lifetime value, the length of buying cycle. If you are not measuring the numbers that you have at the end, you cannot not escalate any process. User experience, bounce rate, SERP CTR, time on site, pogo sticking, all of that is something that you need to control as well for escalating all these processes. And of course, at the end of the day, if you mention the name of your product or your service to a user, and they can say, oh yes, I know this company, so they are trusting you. They know you. User experience, correlation between all the knowledge that they have about your content, how fast, how much time they're spending, is correlated with the rankings that you have. The better rankings, the more time people are spending with you. They are scrolling all your results, all your pages, or at least your main page, till 75%. That's also good. And of course, perform a technical SEO audit, which is simple as it is. 7 steps. Start running the SEO audit on any tool. Take the numbers, fix the errors, all the errors that are here. There are more than 100 checks. Take a look at the performance thematic views here, as I mentioned in the first part of my presentation. And of course, you need to analyze each of the reports to see your stronger points and fix that with your team. Review the list of issues by page, so every single page, integrating your Search Console and your Google Analytics there. And of course, you need to fix all those issues one by one. If you are really good at it, you're going to be taking all the advantage of technical SEO and the results. And of course, you need to fix that not only on third-party instruments, services, but also in the Google Search Console, in the index coverage report. All those issues that Google is mentioning to you. And that is the way that you can keep it simple. It is this chocolate that I'm offering you here today. Keep it simple. It's SEO. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. I have a bonus for all of you. If you want to have all the information structured, I have here the technical SEO checklist, the technical SEO glossary, if you didn't understand any of the words that I was mentioning. And if you want to start working with the technical SEO DIRT mind map for all the 4 stages, just please download all the materials using this URL. Thank you very much.
Hi, Fernando, Nadia here. So we have a question for you from Inga. She says, Dear Fernando, thank you very much for your advices yesterday and today. And the question is, do we need canonical tag for multiple languages site in URL? It's same product, but in different language. Also, if there is one model in different places available, for example, car model BMW X5, we have 4 of them available, 2 from Berlin, 1 Munich, and 1 Düsseldorf. Do we need canonical tag?
Yes, actually, you need the canonicals for every for the same product in other pages. But if you're working with different languages, you don't need just the canonical. You need the hreflang, establishing the standard of the image, and then you need to have the canonical. I need to warn you here that international SEO is one of the peaks of the pyramid of technical SEO. If you are making just one single mistake with the canonical after the standard of the hreflang, that's going to be meaning that the whole website is not going to be working. Sorry about that. That's why you need to put a lot of effort just checking the standards. There is a big document about all the standards for all languages and establishing the hreflang for all those pages. So you have the main canonical and you have the established that, which are the secondary pages on that with all the standards of hreflang. Good luck with that.
So we have no further question. I wanted to thank you again for being with us today and giving us very insider tips today. And it was a pleasure for us.
Pleasure for me. Thank you. Stay safe.